Welcome back to episode 2 of this training series, How to Make a Video Go Viral. My name's Joseph Wilkins. I'm the founder of funnysalesvideos.com. Again, if you didn't watch the first episode, almost 20 years experience producing television commercials, infomercials, now focusing on viral sales videos.
Yeah, and I'm Chad Fulmer. I own AmplifyOnline.com. My company does online marketing for other businesses to help them grow. And I've been doing marketing online and offline for about the same time, 20 years.
Yeah. So we wanted to make this video to talk about what we finished with in our last video, which is the good news and the bad news. When people see viral sales videos and they see these millions of views, they often think that it was organically created views. And in almost every instance, that's not the case. But that's actually a good thing, because if it was the case, then you couldn't repeat it. There wouldn't be a pattern. And so the good news is that Chad and his company are going to teach you how to take a video that a company like mine produces, or with the training that I've just given, maybe you produce on your own, and take it to a point where it becomes a money-making machine.
Exactly.
So I'm going to hand the clicker over to Chad.
Yeah, and let's be clear here. If you've not watched the first video, or if for some reason you've ended up with a video for your product that is not funny, is not engaging, doesn't accomplish the goals that Joseph laid out in the first video, no amount of marketing is going to make your video go viral, right? Yep. So we can't fix something that's that broken. But if you've followed the steps in Joseph's video, you've watched the first part of this webinar, then we can help you now kickstart your video to go viral.
Absolutely.
But what the good news is, like he said, we can teach you how to make a money-making machine, how to convert that traffic. If you've got the right kind of traffic watching those videos, we can teach you how to get it there, how to convert that into sales and customers and revenue. So let's start getting into the content. So Joseph talked about these first 5 steps of producing the video. Now I'm going to talk about the next steps, how to set up and prepare to convert these viewers of your video into revenue, customers. And then I'm going to talk about how after your setup, how do we promote these and what channels? What are the specific ways we can use in marketing online to take a rifle approach rather than a shotgun approach, which I used to do in the old days when I managed campaigns for Intel and other large companies in broadcast television. Okay, the third step for me is to convert. Now that we've got people watching these videos and we've got the right people watching them, how do we convert those viewers into customers, into revenue?
That's the most important step, right?
It is. If you get 1 million views, it doesn't matter if nobody's doing something after they watch the video. So we're going to teach you how to upsell those people who do purchase the product to buy more of the product or to buy something else that you sell. So that's a critical factor in getting a return on the investment you make to produce this video and to do the ad spend to get people to watch the video. Don't just sell them one thing one time. Maintain them as customers and sell them something else.
Kind of like I was saying earlier with my Energy Shot campaign, that very first sale is a free offer. You got to upsell them afterwards to create the profit.
Exactly. Okay, the final step I'm going to teach you is how to remarket to these individuals that didn't buy the first time around. So they've watched your video, maybe they even filled out a form, or they made a phone call and contacted you. They showed some interest, but they didn't buy. They didn't become a customer. We're going to teach you how to go back and be top of mind, be in front of those people, so that when they have that need in the future or when the timing is right, they do buy your product, they become a customer.
And that's why in a lot of cases you want to produce multiple videos, right? Because that first video may have connected with them, but if they didn't buy, they're probably not going to watch that first video again. So if you've got other campaigns that you can run to them, that's when the remarketing really gets kicked into gear.
Exactly. You got to have new content to bring them back the second time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the setup and preparation that goes into being ready to convert these viewers of your video into customers. Number one, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to define your ideal customer. So I know that sounds obvious, but when we talk about this, when I meet with clients, when I meet with other businesses, a lot of times 80% of their customers are the wrong type of customers. They deal with them because they're paying them, but there's maybe 20% of their customers who are ideal, meaning high margin, high ticket purchases, long lifetime value, and very low headache customers. Those are the ones you want more of. So be very clear, get into your customer database right now and understand what are the specific demographics, geography, where do they live, who are they, define these people really clearly. Who are the ideal customers that you want more of? And then what is the conversion action that you want them to take, right? So do I want them to pick up the phone and call me at the end of this video? Or after they watch the video, do I want them to fill out a form, or are they going to purchase something online? You've got to be very clear on what that is, and don't give them 3 or 4 options, because you're just going to confuse them.
Yep.
Make one option that matches your best way of selling. So what are you most comfortable with in how to sell your product or service?
That brings up a really good point. If you confuse, you lose. A lot of people will call me and say, hey, we want a video, and we sell all of these products. Guess what I tell them? Pick one. You gotta pick one. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do a campaign for each of the products, but in the customer's mind, you cannot overwhelm them. You gotta sell one thing and sell it well.
And I would say, you're gonna see when we talk about landing pages, there should be one call to action, and there should be one channel that you're inviting them to take, one action you're inviting them to take. So, okay, next, you're gonna wanna identify the online ad channels and some balanced keywords to use to target the right market, to get the right people watching this video.
What's balanced keywords?
So let's talk about that. Balanced keywords. So sometimes when we meet with the business owner and we say, okay, what do you do? And they say, well, I sell massage chairs. So I want to rank #1 on Google, or I want to pay for the for ads to show up when somebody searches massage chairs. But that's such a vanity keyword. It's so short and so common, such a generic keyword, that everybody, including probably Walmart and Amazon.com, are going to be paying to compete with you for that keyword. And you cannot compete with those 800-pound gorillas. You've got to be a little bit more balanced. But you can't shift so far to the long tail keywords that have 10 words in a phrase. Yes, we can get you #1, or you can pay very little if you're paying ad spend to get somebody to click on that keyword, but no one's searching for those keyword phrases that are that long. So it's balanced. It's something in the middle. And Google actually publishes information so you can find out what is the average monthly search volume of the keywords that I'm targeting. Find a balanced mix where you can actually afford to pay for that click to get somebody to come and watch your video, but it's the right kind of target market, because they've been searching for what you offer.
Cool.
And when we say channels, if it's a younger demographic, you might want to look at Instagram. That tends to have a younger user base than Facebook. If it's a business-to-business product or service that you're offering, then you should be on LinkedIn. That's a default no-brainer. So think about the right channels. Where are my target market spending their time online?
Yep.
And then we want to be there with your ads. Okay, number 2.
And I'm assuming you'll test them to see which one performs better, and maybe that you use more than one.
Yeah, and we've been surprised, and you may be surprised which online channel, you may be running your video ads, you may be paying to get people to watch them on YouTube using YouTube pre-roll ads, and you may test 2 or 3 different channels. You may be surprised at which channel converts the best on the back end, which one produces the most sales and revenue. Exactly. So the next thing you want to do is set up 2 to 3 highly targeted paid campaigns. So again, yes, we want these to go viral. If we've produced the video in the right way, they will get shared, they will get organic traffic and organic clicks. But usually, in fact, every case that we know of, if it's a product video, you have to seed that market with paid campaigns. You've got to pay per click to get the initial viewers coming in to watch your video. So set these up in a highly targeted way, and I can't emphasize this enough. Every business owner that I meet with that has tried to do paid ad spend on Google AdWords or on Facebook or any of these ad channels, if they haven't invested time in the settings, if they haven't spent dozens of hours getting the settings right, then their ad spend is just going to be wasted, because by default, all of these ad networks, Facebook, Google, YouTube, everyone, by all the default settings that they have are meant to blow through your ad budget as quickly as possible in clicks that are not very related even to your keywords. It's astounding how fast you can lose money on these. So you have to be very narrow in your targeting, and that's in the ad campaign settings of all these networks. You need to make sure and use exact match. You need to use negative keywords. You need to use time of day restrictions on when your ads can be shown. And maybe your product lends itself to the people that are up all night because it's a sleep aid or whatever, right? You want those shown at 3 in the morning, but you don't want people clicking on 3 in the morning on your other business-to-business ads or things like that.
You just got to know.
And you've got to invest time in these campaign settings, or you will, even with your test budgets, they'll fail and you'll blow through a lot of money too quick. Okay, next, you're going to want to create and optimize a YouTube channel. Now there may be very few instances where a few of you out there need to tightly control exactly what is shown in terms of any overlays on your video while it's playing, as well as you don't want anything coming up after your video that could take somebody to a different place. And in some of those cases, Vimeo or another video platform might be the better hosting platform for your funny sales video. But in the vast majority of cases, YouTube is the default go-to for even business videos and funny sales videos like these.
So I just want to clarify one thing. This is separate to the actual ads, because the actual ads need to be running inside the platform of choice, right?
Correct.
Facebook does not want to send anyone to YouTube. They want to keep them in Facebook. LinkedIn doesn't want to send people to YouTube. So you gotta have different campaigns and upload that video to the right campaign. I know this because a lot of my clients will say, wait, you said my video has 3.5 million views, but on YouTube, I've just been there and it's only got 1 million. Well, that's because there's 1 million on YouTube, there's 1 million on Facebook, there's 1 million on LinkedIn. Each platform is very selfish about where it keeps that video. And so a lot of these videos, when you hear something has 50 million views, it's not all in one place. So you got to know to upload that video to the individual channel as well as your YouTube.
For the second bullet point here, for the paid campaigns, you're absolutely right. You're going to have to upload those videos to the different ad platforms. But you should have a YouTube channel created in your business name. You know, a business channel for your business on YouTube should be one of the primary sources where you serve up that video, the funny sales video. Right. And when you create that YouTube channel, there's a few key things you want to keep in mind to optimize your channel for search. You want to make sure that obviously your business name is part of the channel name. You want to make sure in the channel name that you use at least one of the core keywords that people would search for to find your type of product or service that you're selling. There are some other things you can do. Just Google it. You'll find a few steps that are easy on how to optimize that YouTube channel. Next, you're going to want to post that video on your YouTube channel, and then you're going to want to embed that video on your website. So there are ways to optimize this. We're going to talk about these in the next step. Finally, when it comes to preparation and getting set up to convert these video viewers into customers, this is one of the most important things, and people overlook this or they rush this part, and it's like the birthing a baby. Mm-hmm. You've got to spend time and have multiple disciplines involved in the creation of your landing pages. You've got to have somebody from marketing, you've got to have a creative person, you've got to have a graphic designer who can make it look so nice that it gives your business credibility. The aesthetics give you credibility as a business, right? So you're going to have, as far as landing page elements go, some of the core elements that you cannot do without, your landing page has to repeat the unique selling proposition that was mentioned in the funny sales video that was created. The message between the two, between the video and the landing page, has to be the same. You've got to match up.
In fact, a lot of the landing pages that we've done for our videos have had the company spokesperson in the video as the company spokesperson on the page. So there's photography that we take, behind the scenes photos or stage photos of our actors to become the brand character of the website.
That's a fantastic point. And we would call that, if you had taken that photo of that same actor and then they became your spokesperson in a photo on your landing page, we would call that the hero shot of the landing page. And your product should be featured also, obviously, on that landing page, right? Yep. You need some sort of social proof on that landing page. You've got to give a reason why you're a credible company, why others are using you, and the experience they're having. So you need social proof. And then the CTA, like Joseph said, in the video, there's going to be a call to action. On the landing page, there's a call to action. What is it you're asking them to do? You've got to be very clear. It's got to be simple, and there's only got to be one of them on that landing page. And it's got to be easy for them to take that action on the landing page. So if what you want them to do is pick up the phone and call, the phone number's right there, the form is right there. It's simple to fill out if you want them to fill out a form. If it's purchase this product, there should be an add to cart button right there on the same landing page. The more clicks you make them go through to get to the action that you want them to take, the more of a loss in the funnel you're going to experience.
I'm sure we could spend a whole hour just talking about landing pages, or even longer. Back to your social proof. Give me some examples of social proof. Would that be like Amazon reviews, Google reviews?
Exactly.
What would you do if you're brand new and you don't have?
Yeah, so if you haven't built those up on the different review networks, then get some testimonials from customers that you've initially worked with.
Yeah.
And then put those quotes right there on the landing page.
And always be asking for reviews.
Exactly. All right, so let's move on.
Actually, I do have one more question before we go to promote. Let's say a client decides today, I'm going to do this. It's going to take them, we've already discussed in the last video, it's going to take them 3 months plus to produce the video. Should they wait until the video's done to start setup, or when?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can start this process, at the same time you're beginning to create your videos. You can start doing, because there's research involved in these first few steps. You've got to define, there's a lot of research involved in defining your ideal customer, in setting up these ad channels, right? Maybe you've spent some ad dollars before on these same online channels, and if those campaigns have worked before, and you've found that right audience, then set them up as a lookalike audience in Facebook or on Google, so that you're copying a lot of those same ad settings for this new campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely don't need to wait. You should not wait to set this up after.
I bring it up because many of our clients, or some of our clients, I should say, made the mistake of, let's produce the video, then let's see how the video turns out, and then let's start this. And they basically get a video that they're in love with, but they have to start all the way back at the beginning and building this setup, and then with another 3 months or however long,
at least a few weeks, you're going to be
till
delayed.
we can go live. So
Exactly.
the opportunity, if you're starting producing a video, you should be starting producing this pretty much simultaneously.
Good point. Thank you. Okay, next, what's the next step? Now you're ready to promote these. You've got your landing page ready to convert people. You've got your campaign set up. So now we begin promoting to get people to watch this video. Again, the reason we're going to be doing this promotion is to start and kick off the viral explosion of this video. So
The
we
snowball.
get the snowball. It starts
Starting
small.
the snowball.
It starts small. Exactly.
You got to start with something for people to be sharing. Nobody's going to see it until you start putting it out there. But once you start putting it out there, you'll get the trickle effect of everyone starting to share it the more you promote it.
Exactly. And all of those, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Google, all of their algorithms that determine which ads should we show, and that really can help you start going viral and getting the organic clicks that you don't pay for, are can be influenced by the paid campaigns and how many views you drive through paid campaigns. So you've got to kickstart that snowball through these promotion methods we're going to talk about. So paid campaigns is the first one, and you want to start with test budgets.
How much money are we talking about?
Usually we recommend only about $500 per channel per month. No more than that at the beginning.
To figure out what $1 in gives you in return.
Exactly, because no matter who you are or how much marketing you've done, even to the same audience, even for your same product, I guarantee you this driving views of this video will be a different ad campaign that will take on a different nature, and you're gonna be surprised by things you learn in that. You're going to have to make refinements to your campaign settings, whether it's Google AdWords, Facebook, whatever campaigns you're running that are paid campaigns to drive views of this video. It will not be perfect in the beginning, so you don't want to spend a lot of money while you're still learning. And you'll be in there at least multiple times a week. We'll talk about that later, refining those campaign settings. Anyway, so you launch these paid campaigns with test budgets. You're also going to want to do at least some limited SEO. Now, there's a lot of SEO things. We could talk for 3 hours just about SEO, but a couple quick points. When you upload your video to these different paid networks, and especially when you upload it to your YouTube channel, you want to make sure and upload a written transcript of every bit of verbal dialogue that is in your video.
I'll give you a tip on that. If you go to Fiverr.com, there are people that will transcribe your video, give you, I can't remember the name of the file, it's an extension that you upload to YouTube.
Yeah.
I got somebody to do it for $50.
That's fantastic.
Like a 4-minute video, but it is rich in keywords that will help your SEO.
Exactly. It made my point for me. You'll do the same thing with the title. You're going to want to make sure and use keywords when you create a title for that YouTube video that you're putting on your YouTube channel. When you upload that video to your YouTube channel, make sure and take advantage of the description field. Add a description and use, again, keywords in that description that people are likely to search for your product. And then this is a huge one for SEO. We all know that links are a part of SEO, so get as many links pointing to your video on YouTube or on your embedded website page as possible. So you want to link to it from other parts of your website. You want to link to it from your social media. You want to ask your social media followers to link to it. You want to ask your partners, and we'll talk about a lot of these other channels, but ask and get links from anywhere possible to link to your video after you post it. And then cards on YouTube, we've all seen it. There will be an overlay on a YouTube video of a little bit of a button, or multiple different buttons sometimes, and they are interactive buttons that you can click on and take a survey or whatever. So one of the big elements that will help your video go viral is if it has people interacting with it, engaging with it, sharing it. And one of the things that you can do is you can use these cards to ask a quick survey, or you use the cards on the YouTube video for your call to action. Click here to get the free product or whatever. So use those cards. That's a YouTube terminology, but use those cards. At least have a couple different cards on each YouTube video, and that will help with your promotion.
Let me add one thing. It's not exactly SEO related, but it's how to get more views on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and just type in poster frame strategies, one of the most important things of your video is the very first thumbnail that they see.
Yes, the thumbnail.
I mean, there are courses online. Udemy, I took one a few years back, where a guy just talks about how much the different strategies that he's used to increase clicks on his video.
Yeah.
And just by doing certain things, he'll increase his click rate by 200%.
Yeah, the thumbnail is absolutely vital. Which image you use that people will see prior to clicking on your video on all these different ad networks, that is a critical element in getting clicks and conversions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't make the mistake of picking a frame in the video. That's the worst thing you can do. You've got to take the time and create your very own, get a graphic designer, or maybe you do it yourself. You got to think about your thumbnail as the movie poster on the outside of the movie theater. If somebody just put a freeze frame of one frame of the movie with no title and nothing but a play button, who's going to go see that movie? No one. You got to make it look interesting. Think about the Star Wars, the iconic classic Star Wars movie poster. It draws you in. You got to do the same thing.
Yep. It's a produced image.
Exactly.
It's not just a clip.
But avoid clickbait. Don't just put an image of something that isn't in your video, or something that's fabricated that looks completely ridiculous. We've all seen the clickbaits.
Yeah. You'll lose credibility.
People
right
don't
away.
like doing clickbait.
Good point. Okay, the next point is social media and interest groups and fans. So we want to make sure that everyone we know as a business is helping us promote this video. And one of the ways we do that is through social media, right? Hopefully you have some social media channels for your business on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, LinkedIn, and you've got followers or groups that you participate in there. You want to go out to those and you want to ask them or incentivize them to drive views of your video, right? So you're promoting the video to your followers, you're doing posts that link to your video, but you're also maybe running contests, promotions, doing other things that reward people and incentivize them for going out and sharing to their social media networks your video to drive views of that. And when I talk about groups, you may be a part of, and if you're not, go out and find these groups. On Facebook, there are millions of groups out there, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and all the social media networks that are related to the product or to the pain point that your product solves. And you want to be involved in those groups. You want to be sharing information in those groups about your video, but don't just plug your video. Offer something of value when you're commenting in those groups, when you're posting in those groups. Offer something of value because you have expertise in that area of interest. So give something of value and then give your link to your video and drive more views that way. In addition to these online social media groups, you as a business likely have a lot of fans that are not following you right now on social media, and you want to leverage these. So find lists that you have, whether they're customers or people that almost bought your product, anyone who you have a list of that you can market to through a newsletter or any other means. Go out to them and ask them to watch your video. Invite them to watch your video. Send them an invitation to come and check it out. Next, partners, suppliers, and distributors. Think of any business that your company has a relationship with that you can invite their followers, their users to come and watch your video. So these can be huge. One use case I can think of in the past we were able to get millions of people to our website that we otherwise would have had no introduction to, we would have no access to. But they had built up a user base and an email list of over 1 million people, and they were one of our partners, and they were happy to promote for us. We had to scratch their back a little bit, right? But find ways to incentivize and motivate partners, suppliers, distributors of your company to go out and tell your story and invite their customers to watch your video. Okay, next, another way to promote this is through blogs and content marketing online. And this doesn't have to only be your blog. Yes, you should be blogging about this and should be making blog posts about your video that invite people to come watch it. But you can also do guest blog posts. You can go into other people's blogs, and there are literally millions of different blogs out there, and a lot of people are looking for guest bloggers to come on and write a guest blog post. So again, you'll have to offer something of value. It'll take a little investment of your time, but you have expertise in what you do. You know the product and the vertical market that you work within. So find blogs that speak to your market and write articles and blog posts, and then find clever ways to mix in a link to your video and invite those people to watch your video.
Same for podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts, blogs, and that really gets into the content marketing. Podcasts, writing written articles of copy. There's millions of websites out there that are looking for writers to contribute, right? Contribute articles on the topic that you know something about. And again, you can work in PowerPoint presentations. You can work in infographics. Anything you can create that is a different type of content will help influence the organic clicks in the SEO. Google really likes to reward companies that have links back to their videos that come from different types of content. So if all you do is article writing, it will not be as powerful as producing links back to your video from different types of content, like podcasts, like blogs, like PowerPoint presentations, things like that. Okay, what's the next step? Now we've got our video, we've got set up to convert those people into customers. Now we're promoting and we're starting to drive views of the videos. So how do we convert and focus our attention now on increasing the number of people who are converting into a customer or a sale from those that are watching the video? Let's talk about that. One of the main things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that there's someone technical involved in your project to set up tracking and to be able to do split testing or A/B testing on every step in the funnel. So when we talk about a conversion funnel, it's meaning everything from the time somebody first learns about your company or your product to the point where they become a customer, and even beyond that, where you're upselling and cross-selling them. That whole thing is a conversion funnel, and there are many steps you're asking these people to take, including watch your video at one point early on. And that ad that gets them to watch your video needs to be tracked. How many clicks are we getting on this ad versus this ad? So you're constantly tracking and A/B testing different ideas throughout that entire conversion funnel. And so you got to make sure that the Google Analytics and other conversion tracking is set up there. I would recommend even setting up tracking on phone calls. So if your conversion action you're wanting people to take is making a phone call after watching the video, and that's how you're going to sell to them, then make sure and use a tracking phone number that forwards to your regular business phone number, because then you can track all sorts of analytics about where people saw your phone number and where they're calling from, when they called, how long they stay on the phone. You can even record those calls and train your people better. You'll find a lot of times that maybe you thought you trained people really well on how to handle these sales leads that are coming in by phone and you haven't. So use every bit of tracking that's possible. That's one of the beautiful things about advertising online, is that we can track and analyze the data and what's happening with these visitors and these clicks that are happening all through the funnel.
So you're talking there about a lead generation or a sale that is a multi-touch point. I'm assuming the same thing is true for just, I'm selling widgets and I want you to order online. How do you split test and A/B test? I mean, obviously with the video, you've got different versions and different CTAs for that, price points.
Yeah, with any type of an e-commerce sale, it's even easier, because then you have just one simple conversion point, and you can tie it to a dollar amount, and then you can track all the way back through the funnel. If you've got your analytics and your conversion tracking set up right, you should be able to attribute every dollar of revenue to a specific ad campaign, a specific landing page. So you should be A/B testing all the way through, and you can even A/B test your e-commerce shopping cart pages, right? And your shopping cart checkout process. All of that should be tested through the funnel. And when you do that, you're going to come up with a lot of great information that's going to inform future edits and pivots that you make to each step in the funnel, and then your funnel just gets more and more efficient at converting visitors into customers and revenue. So we're going to take that, all the things we learned from the analytics, from the tracking, and we're going to optimize campaign performance. And at least at the beginning, you're going to be doing this 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes we do it daily. We're in those campaign settings of Google or Facebook for the paid campaigns, and we're in there constantly spending multiple hours a week just refining those campaign settings from what we learned is happening from the analytics that we're tracking. You've got to be doing this. Don't skip this part. If you skip this part, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. You're going to have competitors clicking on your ads. You're not going to catch them and turn on the fraud signals within these ad networks. You're going to have people, if you're not using negative keywords, you're going to have tons of people clicking on your ads, costing you money every day, that are literally looking for something that has nothing to do with your product. So you've got to be in these campaign settings, looking at the keywords that are actually costing you money, and then refining the campaign settings to make sure that you're spending your money on the best things. Next, you're gonna want, and this is really a natural step that follows the optimization or is part of the optimization. You should be creating different ad groups in each network. So even if all you're doing is using Google AdWords, and that's the only channel that's working for you, you shouldn't have all of your keywords in one ad group. Use multiple ad groups and segment them by customer type or by the type of lead that you're generating. People, like we talked about in the video creation, there are different reasons why people buy your product. And you can segment those into different ad groups, and then you can create landing pages and entire lead funnels or conversion funnels based on those ad groups. And your landing pages must match your ad groups. So you might have a whole bunch of keywords that relate to one type of pain point that people buy your product for, and those would be put in one ad group. You'd have a landing page that speaks to that pain point and how your product solves that pain point. And then you'd have a completely different set of ads and keywords, and you'd run those in a different ad group. And that gives you a lot more control over your ad spend and how you target these people.
Google will also penalize you if you don't. If the headline on the ad doesn't match the copy in the squeeze page, your quality score will go down.
Exactly. Good point. Okay, another tip for converting is to capture partial form fills. This is making sure to capture and utilize as much information as people are willing to give you. So sometimes we've all done this as a consumer. We've been using the internet, we get interested in something, we start filling out a form, maybe we give them our name and email address, and then we just stop. For whatever reason, maybe we get interrupted or we lose interest for a minute. For whatever reason, but there are a lot of technologies out there, even simple free plugins that you can use for WordPress forms that will capture and store in a database or in a spreadsheet whatever information people start filling out, even if they never hit submit on the form. So make sure you're using that type of technology. Yeah, I mean, you can build lists from that, and again, you can approach them in maybe a slightly different way than people who fill out the whole form. Okay, next, when we talk about lead storage status, what we're talking about is how do you nurture these leads? And for e-commerce companies, it's simple. Your conversion point is to get them to purchase or to subscribe, right? But for those of you who have a longer sales cycle, there's something that you're selling, and maybe there's a manual process that you need to get somebody on the phone or go visit them even to sell something to them. Then where are you storing these leads? You got to make sure that you're set up at least with a spreadsheet, if not tying a CRM to the lead capture, and that can be automated so it goes right into your customer relationship management software. You've got to make sure you're tracking the status of those leads, right? So you know who on your team is responsible for the next step in the sales process. And when we talk about immediacy, if this is a lead that requires any manual sales process, you should be contacting these leads immediately after they fill, and I mean within minutes. So in the best case scenario, when I was VP of a company that sold leads to banks and financial businesses, we actually got the leads on the phone when they first were interested and did a warm transfer so that when the person was interested in a loan, we talked to them, we qualified them, didn't even hang up the phone, and transferred them on the phone and introduced them warm to the bank that was going to try and provide them a loan. So you've got to be in touch with, and if they couldn't do that, we said you've got to be in touch within the first few minutes with these leads. And then make sure that for those that you don't convert or sell to right then, make sure that you're in touch with them as much as possible. Do a blitz that next 6 days. Those leads are valuable and they decrease in value and in likelihood to convert into a sale quite significantly during that first week. So during the first 6 days, blitz them with every type of approach possible. If you have all the contact information, you should be calling them, you should be emailing them, you should be contacting them in every way possible. Sending them a text message if they've authorized that when they filled out your form. Next, conduct post-sale surveys. I can't, again, emphasize this enough. You've got to find out why people are buying, why they aren't buying. So this is a win-loss, essentially. You can use SurveyMonkey or something else, but you want to find out what's working and why, or what's not working and why. So you should be asking those questions after somebody goes through the process and either buys from you or doesn't buy from you. Okay, next, we want to make sure, now we've sold a lot of these people. What do? We've got a customer, we've got a new customer, and hopefully they're excited about what they've got from us. They're experiencing good things. They're giving us good reviews. So we want to upsell or cross-sell. So upsell is just sell them more of the same thing. Cross-sell is what else do we have as a company that they need, that they might be interested in. And you've heard the term ABC. It's used in one of the most famous use cases is an old sales movie, Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, with Alec Baldwin and a bunch of other stars. But they talk about ABC, always be closing. Always be closing. You're always finding opportunities after a sale has been made to upsell or to cross-sell, unless they're explicitly angry with you or unhappy with the product or service. So good times for this are when they give a good review, when they send you any kind of feedback via email, anytime you're on the phone with them, following up to make sure they got the product. In the thank you page, when they actually check out or purchase or subscribe, you should offer that next thing. You should always be closing, because they're 50% more likely to buy something from you if they've already bought once than they are if they've never bought from you before.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, next. Make sure you diagnose before you prescribe. So before you begin, especially if you have a lot of different offerings, understand who you're talking to, understand why they bought your product and a little bit about them. By now you should know your customer. And so diagnose them before you prescribe something new. Before you upsell the next product, understand what their needs are, and then prescribe something, a solution that fits. You want to target by customer type with exclusive offers. So they need to feel like they're getting some kind of an offer that's different because they've already been a customer of yours before. So because they're a customer, they get something exclusive, and there's a limited time for them to act on that offer. And you should do that by customer type. Again, even if you have one product in this funny sales video that you promoted, you have multiple different customer types that have bought that product for different reasons, and you want to market to them with a different type of an offer. Next, you're going to want to follow up with drip marketing. So again, this is drip marketing specifically to people who bought the product the first time around in order to upsell or cross-sell something else to them. You're going to want to drip market through email, through text. You're going to want to be constantly reminding them and giving them something of value in each time you're touching them with a drip marketing piece. You want to give them something of value and a reminder to stay top of mind. Hey, we have these other products, or you can buy more of this. Do you need more at this point? Okay, the next step. What about the people that we captured in the sales pipeline that never converted? They're not a customer. We haven't captured any revenue from these people, but they had an interest. How do we remarket to them? And it's all about staying top of mind for these people so that when they have that need or when the timing is right in their life, you're the one they think of. They don't go to one of your competitors.
So this is the ads that follow you around the internet when you visited a website that haven't bought.
Exactly. That's one of the main things we're going to talk about here with remarketing. We actually call that retargeting, which is one form of remarketing. And these are the ads that you've seen where 2 days after you looked at a product somewhere, you're on some totally different website and you see an ad for that same thing you looked at 2 days ago.
Right.
They follow you around a little bit. Some people call it creepy, but yeah, it's very effective. So you want to make sure you're taking advantage of that because you've invested to build these lists. You've invested to get people to go far enough along in the conversion funnel that they've seen your product. Now we want to follow them around until they're ready to buy it.
I'm assuming it's cheaper to market to people who have already shown interest in you or higher conversion than it is to people that you have no idea about.
Absolutely. The conversion rates are significantly higher. Absolutely. So that's what it is. We've talked about that. Let's now talk about the next step. You want to identify your high value user actions. And what I mean by this is you're not going to remarket to everybody. And when you're setting up these remarketing campaigns, you do that on these large ad networks like Google. And when you're setting up those campaigns, you're going to waste a lot of money if you don't know who to remarket. If you remarket to everybody that's ever clicked to view your ad, again, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. So you want to think about what are the high value user actions that indicate that these people are a little bit closer to your target market or a little bit closer to making that purchase from you. So what might that be? Well, maybe after they looked at your product page, they clicked around on your website for a while. They have an average, time on your website of over 2 minutes or something like that.
They went to your pricing page.
They looked at the pricing, exactly. Or they clicked subscribe on the newsletter. Like any type of a signal that helps you know that they're a little bit more serious. Or maybe they've watched the video 4 times and they shared it on their social media network or whatever. These are all things that can be tracked, and you can then target people like this that have this exact composition of actions that they've taken. So identify those high value actions, and then make distinct lists for the different types of people that are making different actions. Then you're going to follow up with these ads that we talked about. You're going to create ads to use to follow them around based on their lead type. So if it's a soccer mom and you know that the reason she's looking at your product was for X reason, then you're going to want to create an ad that speaks to that reason or that pain point. Right?
And you could create those ads in the production process while you're creating the hero video. So sometimes what we do is we'll create the hero video, and then we'll really quickly create a very short ad that simply says, hey, I saw that you saw my video. Can we answer some questions? Or, create a funny way or an interesting way to kind of be creepy, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a good thing to call it out now because everybody knows that it's out there. So you say, hey, here we are again. We found you. We know you're interested. Are we doing business or not?
You can get creative with that.
Exactly. And then again, you're gonna set up not just that. So retargeting campaigns are set up in these large ad networks, and they specifically have retargeting ad settings that you can set up. But then you're also going to want to do your own drip marketing those lists. So if you have their email address, you're going to want to set up email drip marketing campaigns using MailChimp or something like that to go back and be in front of them by email. And if they've given you, and this is, I can't emphasize enough, these days email open rates are less than 1% for mass email marketing. But text open rates are something like over 75% of people that receive a text. So if you can, in your lead form, in your lead capture form, get them to give you authorization to send them texts about the product, those things are an incredible open rate and conversion rate when you can do drip marketing via text. Next, so we've already talked about this, doing paid retargeting via Google, YouTube, Facebook, etc. So running these ads that follow them around on the internet, it's very, very productive when you've identified the high value user actions and you know you're targeting the right people. And I think that's it. Yeah. So again, this is a snowball. All the things that we're teaching you to do are to create the initial momentum of people watching these funny sales videos that you've created, to get the initial momentum going so that they can then be shared on social media and begin to go viral, so you can reach the target market in mass quantities. You're not going to be able to afford to pay per click for every single view of the video that you want to drive later. But these are the ways that you jumpstart or kickstart that snowball and get it rolling down the hill and building momentum.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you're going to have a pie chart of where your views come from. You want a nice balanced amount, some from paid, some organic, some from Facebook, some from LinkedIn. It's all about the fact that if you don't do everything, and you don't have to do everything that we've discussed, but if you don't, you're just missing out on opportunities to create that big pie chart.
Exactly. If you're feeling overwhelmed, we're here to help, and we will give you a free half hour of that help as a consultation just for watching these webinars. We do want to help you succeed. I mean, both of us are entrepreneurs. We love helping small businesses or large businesses grow. We love seeing that. That's our passion. We've dedicated our careers to it.
Yeah, we'd love to do business with you, but we also would just love to share our expertise. In this world, networking is one of the most important things. And if you've got a business and you've got a business idea, we'll give you 30 minutes to help of our team's time to help you.
Yeah, but if you want to hire us to do it, we'll help you crush it. And we'll bring not just ourselves, but both of us have teams that work with us that have dozens and dozens of years, when you combine it all together, of expertise in these areas, and we will get results.
So we went through this slide in the previous video, but how can we help? Again, watch this free training over and over again. We're going to give you this in video format. We're going to give you this in audio format. We're going to create a podcast link where you can just subscribe to it on your iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify or however you listen. Listen to this in the car, because there's this, I don't know about you, but just listening to what Chad just went over, my mind's spinning. So watch this free training anytime. If you decide, other than that 30-minute free consultation, that you want to engage our consultation services on a specific project, we're happy to talk about booking us on an hourly project. We can also be hired for part of the project, so whether that's the video production side or the promotion side, or like Chad said, if you really want to crush it, you know, we've been doing this, both of us, for 20 years individually in our own segments. We wanted to focus on what we do best. Some companies try to do everything. We decided to partner up and offer this to our clients so that I can focus on what my business does best, Chad can focus on what his business does best, and together we can really crush it if we are hired for the entire project. So again, we'll leave you with that. That's our free 30-minute offer to you. If you want to get in contact with me, go to funnysalesvideos.com. There's a form there that you can fill out if you want to get in contact with my team. If you want to get in contact with Chad's team,
same thing. Go to amplifyonline.com. You'll see the links below. And really, below this video, you'll find a form you can fill out if you're ready to schedule that 30-minute consultation right now.
Awesome. Well, this has been how to make your video go viral. I hope you feel like you got some value out of these videos, and we hope to hear from you soon.